Hey guys, we're the Garso Twins. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Britta.
And I'm Carly.
We would love it if you would subscribe down below and hit the bell so you're notified when we upload. We are doing our June favorites today. We actually don't have too many things to discuss.
It'll probably go pretty quick.
Yeah, but everything's good, so let's get started. Okay, real quick, a complexion favorite I've talked about is the One Size Turn Up the Base BBB cream. I put this in a weekly favorites. I've still been loving this. I've been using it all month. I put another foundation that I'm wearing today in my weekly favorites, and they're actually really different foundations, but I've also been loving that. So far, like in the past few months, I've just like really been finding some really good complexion products. But anyway, this one is really good for the summer in my opinion, because if you have like combination to oily skin, it's just a really good matte finish product that does still kind of like blur the skin like it says. A little goes a long way, so definitely don't overuse the product. I feel like then it could probably look heavy, but to me, if I use just this pretty sparingly, it blurs my skin. It helps keeping me like matte, not super matte, like my natural oils will still come through, so it kind of looks like satiny, but I never look greasy or like oily by the end of the day, which I really like, and it wears really well on me. Like it lasts really well on the skin in my opinion. So I've been really loving this, and I feel like if you have oily skin, you would like it even more than me, because I can see how it would just kind of like really like, you know, melt together nicely. And I think it still works on a variety of skin types in my opinion, but dry skin, probably beware. In the summer I have more combo than dry, so I'm like able to wear this, but I don't think you'd like this if you have dry skin, but it really surprised me. I really like it. Okay, I've also talked about these like plenty of times now because I've had them all month, but they're the Make Beauty Serum Balm Intense. And I have the shades Chocolate and Nude Nova. I love them both. I really just wanted like an easy throw on summer lip that wasn't like, I mean, you guys know there's so many like tinted lip balms now, but they're always like so sheer, and I wanted something, especially a red like Chocolate, that is like actually shows color, because I love that look like in the summertime when you have like barely anything on your skin, like some mascara, maybe some brows, and like a red lip. So I really love these. I've been using them like throughout the week, like multiple times a week, because I feel like they're the easiest like throw on, and your lips look like really smooth and like plump and juicy with like the right amount of color, and it's like perfect for when I like go to the office and I don't want to like put on an actual lipstick, but like I said, they have enough color that they actually are like pigmented. And this formula, actually, I had never tried the original, but it actually does feel nourishing. Like when it wears off, it feels like I had a lip mask on. Like my lips feel like nourished. It's not like something that just like is a fleeting cushiony feeling. Like it actually feels like it's doing something. So I think Serum Balm is a really good name for these, and I would buy more colors, but I'm just like trying to reel it in with my purchasing lately. But these are really good. Okay, next up is a lipstick favorite. I recently did a reel on like my favorite MAC lipsticks, and I talked about how I was in San Diego, I forgot all my lipsticks, and I went to Ulta, and I decided to get Yosh and Whirl. And Yosh is kind of like tried and true, but Whirl I hadn't owned in years, and this has like slowly become one of my favorite lipsticks again. Like it is a darker nude. You'll see in the reel if you click, I'll link it below.
It's like a perfect fall nude.
Yeah, so I was gonna say it is like more like a fall nude, but I've still been wearing it because I just love, well, I love the matte formula. I think it's like super comfortable. It wears really well. It pairs with like any lip liner I put it with, but it's almost like, I don't know, almost like a berry nude, not a berry nude, like a mauve nude, like a deep mauve nude. And I just think it's like super flattering on like everybody. And I know that it's had like a cult following for years, but I kind of wanted to have a resurgence, have another moment, because I think it's a really special color, and I've been wearing it so much, like when we go just out. I mean, not like, you know, on an everyday basis, like to work, but I think it's a really good like nighttime nude. Okay, I've been wanting to try something from Dew Skin forever, and I finally picked up the Dew Instant Age-L Lipid Rich Moisturizer. I love the packaging. It says it's a recyclable aluminum tube, which it's hard to find, so good for them.
All aluminum is recyclable.
No, it's like PCR, made from recycled aluminum. So I just have seen so many people talk about this moisturizer, and I really wanted a new nighttime moisturizer that was like really repairing. At nighttime I don't really care if it's like heavy, but I just wanted something that would like really work to moisturize and like hydrate and really repair my skin overnight, and I definitely think this does this. But the one thing I was really surprised by is this is actually much thinner in viscosity and like more lightweight than I thought. Like I've worn this during the day since I've purchased it as well, because it actually even though I do feel like it has a lot of like repairing ingredients and is doing a lot of like heavy lifting when it comes to like keeping the skin healthy, it's way more lightweight than I anticipated. So that was actually a pleasant surprise because my skin has been kind of like, I don't know, up and down lately. Like some days I wake up and it's so dry, and then I'll use this as my daily moisturizer, and it's really been helping. So far I really like it. I saw that like there is a lot of actives in here. Like I think there's like peptides and some other things. So there's a lot of claims that like over time your skin like looks like much more even and like healthy, and I saw a lot of reviews say that too. So I think once I make it through the full tube, I will give you guys an update to see like if it changed my skin like significantly, because moisturizers typically don't do that. Like I said, there's a lot of actives in here, and because of that I wanted to note that it has like an off smell, but I'm really happy they didn't add fragrance to cover that, because we always use like fragrance free skincare. So yeah, it says there's a barrier repair complex, free fatty acid complex, some other ingredients. It's just good stuff. I really want to try their other serum now. Serum in the blue bottle. What is it called?
Yeah, that dark blue bottle.
Yeah,
their branding's cute.
Yeah, and it came with a tube key too, which was cute. This isn't cheating because yes, it's brand new to my collection, but I immediately fell in love with it. This is the Rhode Peptide Lip Treatment. I got the fragrance or flavor salted caramel, and I love this so much. So I wanted to purchase all 3 Rhode products, but the like glazing fluid sold out pretty much immediately, because I feel like I placed my order like 15 minutes after they launched. And I got the moisturizer and this, and I do like the moisturizer, but this is like the star of the show in my opinion. I was telling Carly, like if we're comparing it to that, say like the Summer Fridays butter lip balm, that one I do still love, but this one is like a slightly thicker, more emollient version of that.
Thicker than the Summer Fridays?
Well, maybe not thicker. Maybe it's just
that
more
one is
emollient.
thick.
Well, it's thick. Like you can see.
Yeah, that's true.
It's thick. But my favorite thing about it is that like where you put it, it stays. It doesn't migrate at all. And like the Summer Fridays, I pretty much just use that like when I'm at home. But you know, like when we're at home, I feel like I'll like slather Aquaphor on my lips and I don't really care where it goes. And kind of the same thing with that. But this one, I just kind of like how precise you can be with it. Like I feel like if you kind of want to use it as like a gloss, you can, because it is super shiny. I can put it over my lipstick to show you.
Yeah, when Haley wears it, it looks really pretty on her lips, like kind of like a gloss.
Yeah, it's really, really shiny. So it's definitely more like a gloss, but it just like doesn't migrate at all. It's super emollient, so like you can like, you know, go like that. It's not like sticky. I just love how it feels so much. This scent, I like can't pinpoint it.
People are loving the watermelon.
Yeah, it smells good. It smells like salted caramel, like how you would imagine it, but it smells like something specific that I can't pinpoint. But I just love the way it feels, and I actually feel like once it wears off, my lips feel more hydrated. Like I don't have to like immediately go apply more or like go and apply more Aquaphor, and that's kind of what I want. Like I feel like most lip products do kind of like they only hydrate while they're on your lips, and then once they're gone, you have to reapply to like feel a sense of hydration, which kind of like defeats the purpose, you know? So I love that. I feel like this is actually doing something. I love the smell. I love the packaging. I literally love everything about it. Like I think that this is just my new go-to. Like I'll definitely continue to repurchase. Maybe I'll try the watermelon next, or maybe I'll just purchase it before I'm even out, because that's how much I love it. Okay, I think I talked about this in weekly favorites, but it's the Conair Knot Doctor. It's basically like just like, you know, the Revlon blow dry brush, like all those blow dryer brushes. But I talked about this where I got it on sale for $24, which is crazy. I think it's now the normal price of $40 on Amazon, but I'll link it below. And I like this more than the Revlon. It doesn't get as hot. It seems to be like a smoother blowout for me. I think it's $50 now because I just went to go buy it because my Amica
after
died.
Elise talked about it, they increased the price.
Sure. But regardless, I think that like the handle does feel cheap, but to me that doesn't really matter as long as like the brush works. And it's a nice barrel size, like a nice head size. And I just feel like it's so much less damaging than both the Hot Tools one I had and the Revlon one. And like I said in the weekly favorites, I'd say it's tied with the amount. Like the Amica was also very gentle on my hair, which I liked, but that one died so quickly. And if this one died quicker, I would just be like more okay with it because it wasn't so expensive. So yeah, really like this so far. I'm gonna keep using it, but I might buy another attachment too because I love how you can buy attachments for the head as well. Okay, next up, last up, our book favorites of the month. Mine is by far The Office BFFs. In our vlog that we put up a few weeks ago, I talked about getting this in the mail and I was like, I'll update you guys. And I also posted on Instagram that I loved it, would recommend, but I'm going to elaborate here because I loved this so much more than I even thought I would.
It's a big book, it's like supposed to be like a coffee table book.
That's what. Well, I think it's just because they have so many pictures to fit everything in.
Yeah, that's really cute.
But my favorite thing about it is the format, essentially. Like, hopefully you can see this, but it goes
for them. Honestly,
seriously,
they're really like
it goes between Angela and Jenna. So like Angela will start with a story, and then Jenna will like leave off where Angela left off, and they'll like tell the story from both of their points of view and like add different tidbits. There are so many photographs in here, it's insane. Like I love that they would like bring like I guess they're called just disposable cameras, right? Like back in the day.
Did you say it for people that don't know? This is like they were in The Office.
Oh yeah, I guess I should say that in case you don't watch The Office. Well, let me just show you some of these pictures. Like so many cute pictures. Okay, so Angela, Kinsey, and then Jenna Fisher were both on The Office. Jenna played Pam, Angela played Angela Martin, and they became like fast friends on the set of The Office. So this book is kind of like a behind the scenes into The Office, but also their friendship. If you listen to Office Ladies podcast, you'll like hear them talk about the book all the time. It's like our favorite podcast. We love it so much. We love them. And they had been talking about this book since they started the podcast because they've kind of like been doing it in conjunction. So they'll share little like tidbits about how the book was going, blah, blah, blah. But they just came out now, and I just loved like how each chapter, I felt like they did one chapter that was basically took you like through a day on set at the office, like starting with hair and makeup and like kind of like their routine and their schedule. And I loved the behind the scenes of that because you guys know we love TV. So like any little like snippet into like the world of television I always find so interesting. And then just kind of like the trials that their friendship has gone through, the ups and downs. I was telling Carly, like the whole book, I was either smiling while reading or crying because I felt like so connected to their friendship because of like the podcast and just like seeing them on Instagram together. And I love their friendship so much. I think it's so special, truly. Like I'm so glad they found each other. And I just love The Office and like love the behind the scenes moments. So would recommend to anybody that loves The Office or loves these women because I couldn't put it down. It was a delightful book. I would give it 10 out of 10 on Goodreads if they offered that. But it only goes up to 5, so I gave it a 5. Okay, my book favorite is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. And this is her first book, which blows my mind. I hope she like writes a million other books. I will say the plot. So basically this book is like a twin or like a baby between People We Meet on Vacation and Love in Other Words. The plot is very similar to Love in Other Words, which I saw some people were like, this is like really similar. But I do think that typically books like overlap. Like you can only have so many tropes and so many plot lines. But I loved that I felt like it, like Love in Other Words to me isn't like a summer read. And so like having the setting be at a lake, I'll get into it, and sort of like, all the like, I don't know, just all the like summer talk like really put it into the summer book category for me. But this is going in my top books of the year for sure. Like I loved it so much. So it revolves around it's a romance. So it revolves around Sam and Persephone. She goes by Percy. And you meet them when they're kids. They basically have cottages, or not cottages. I always say cottage because it's a Midwest thing, but it takes place in Canada.
Like a lake house?
Yeah, so they have like lake houses next to each other. Yeah, so Sam lives in the town. The town is called, I just read this, I'm trying to remember, Barry's Bay.
Okay, this is so much like Love in Other Words then.
Yes, it is. But I actually read that the author, like, all of these places were from her childhood. Like Barry's Bay is real, and like there's a diner sort of like restaurant that Sam's mom owns, and that was also based on a real place. So I thought it was very cool and probably like amazing for her to like put her childhood into this book. Actually, the whole story is really cool because she said that during 2020 they got stuck in Canada on this lake, and so they couldn't leave. As you know, people were stuck in Canada for a long time, and so she thought like, well, I'm here and like everything is reminding me of my childhood, like I'm going to write a book. And she like she's a journalist, so she like hasn't written a book. anyway, back to Sam and Persephone. So Sam lives in the town in this little like lake house, and Persephone's family is more like well off, and so this is their like second home that they vacation at, so they really only are there through the summers. And then you see throughout the book that they spend like some New Year's Eves there, they even spend some Christmases there, some Thanksgivings, and basically like they meet when they're 12 and they're fast friends, and you just like see their relationship develop as they get older. And like I said, they're only like, the book really takes place over like summer after summer after summer. Like you do see some Thanksgivings here or there, but it's always the summer.
So this also seems like that other book we read, 28 Summers.
Yes, kind of like that, but that's like adults.
Yeah.
These are like,
Yeah.
I actually, one of the things I love so much about this book is that I felt like every age she wrote them at was so believable. Like when they like first start to get feelings for each other and they like don't even know, like she doesn't even like boys yet, but she's like, oh, do I like think he's attractive? Like it was like really age appropriate from like top to bottom. So then you end up fast forwarding 12 years, and I think they're like around, like it goes from 12 to 18, and then you see them as adults. They're like 32. And they reconnect. She comes back to the lake town for a reason, and they end up reconnecting, and you kind of hear why they lost touch all those years. It's actually super predictable, and I saw some reviews on Goodreads that they were like, this was awful, like this like twist wasn't even necessary. I actually, like, it was fine for me. I don't think what happened was super believable for Percy. But my favorite part about this was that like their love was so undeniable. Like I don't think I've ever read a story where I was like, oh, these fictional characters are hands down meant to be together. Like they are soulmates.
Well, Love in Other Words.
Yeah, so similar to that.
Yeah.
It is really similar to Love in Other Words, but I just believed in their love so much, and I never like thought like, oh, this book is gonna end with them not together. Like of course it's a romance book, but like I think that helped you.
And it ends with us. You didn't read that. But
Yeah, it helps you get through like the falling out and everything, because you kind of know like there's no way these two people aren't going to be together. And then finding their way back to each other was so beautiful. I actually cried like multiple times during this book. Like it was so well written, and I just felt their love so strongly, like from when they were children all the way through like our age, like like 32. And it was
31.
Yeah, we're 31. I don't want to age us. And then I loved all the lake parts. We grew up in Wisconsin, and we had some like land up north. It was nothing fancy, like nothing like this.
We had a trailer.
Yeah, we didn't have a house. It was a trailer,
Yeah.
but it was on the lake
With no electricity. Don't get it
no,
twisted.
no electricity. We weren't as privileged as these people, but we've always loved lakes, obviously. And I just loved how they described it, and it just sounded so like picturesque and beautiful, and like eating ice cream in the little town. And I just loved, and Sam's mom was a single mom, and I loved her character. So the book was so good. She was an only child, and I also thought they portrayed that really well. If you're an only child, I feel like it's hard to find books where it's like portrayed well.
I'm reading one right now.
Really? I feel like it's never a thing. I feel like so many books revolve around siblings, and Sam does have Sam does have a brother. But she kind of describes how her parents like had her when they were older and they're already well off, so like kind of like establishing how she was raised with more money than Sam, and that like her parents could do that because like they were older and it was just the three of them. And I really liked that perspective. That's never ever in books, I think. So overall, it was just, if like Britta said, if I could give it a 10 out of 10,
Yeah.
I would. One of my favorite books I've truly ever read. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching our June favorites. We hope you had a great month, and let us know what you've been loving down below.